Welcome back to Monroe's Marketing and SEO. Today we have a part two of our video series on Instagram's algorithm. This series is to help you guys better understand how Instagram's algorithm works. That way you can better design a marketing campaign that works for you on social media. So initially we're going over Instagram. Later on, we'll dip into YouTube and all these other platforms that a lot of people market on. So when it comes to the Explore algorithm, our previous video talked about Reels and the algorithm for, different parts of Instagram. There's not one specific algorithm. They have different types for Explore, for Reels, for regular posts, your feed, stories, things like that. So the Explore page is designed to introduce users to new content that they might be interested in. The algorithm primarily uses machine learning to recommend posts that are, similar to content users. So, or to content a user, meaning you or your target audience, has previously engaged with. So everyone has their own, designed algorithm. Everyone's varies. Your Instagram doesn't look exactly like your friends, that it doesn't look exactly like their friends or their moms or whatever the case may be. You guys might have similar interests, things that overlap. Maybe both of you, like the previous video I mentioned cooking videos, but that doesn't mean that your friend who really likes motorcycles and cars and stuff like that, that's not going to necessarily affect your algorithm unless they're sending you those posts or they're, mentioning you them in the comments, things like that. So, but the key ranking factor when it comes to the explore page is kind of it's a mixture of things. So the information about the post, how popular a post is, how quickly it's gaining engagement. This means, likes, comments, shares, saves. These signals matter a little bit more for the explore page than they do for a user's main feed or stories. It also, another factor is going to be your activity in explore. So the algorithm considers how you've interacted with posts in the past. If you liked, saved, comment, those kinds of things on a specific type of content, in Explore, it'll try to show you more similar content. Again, this could be genres. This could also be, do you interact with reels more than you do static posts or carousels or, those types of things. So they'll show you more reels if that's the case. If not, maybe it's, carousels that you typically will scroll through and read and spend, quite a bit of time on, then they'll show you more of those. It also kind of factors in so your history of interacting with certain, people who have posted, meaning, while the post is likely from someone you don't follow, um, you've also interacted with them in the past. So this could be, an account, again, you don't follow them, but you've liked their post in the past, or you've commented on it, you've saved it, you've shared it, whatever it is. The algorithm is going to use that as a signal of your interest. So, was this account or these accounts that you've interacted with but don't necessarily follow? Are they a comedy account? Are they, you know, like I said, stand up comedians? So, it'll kind of give you other stand up comedians, introduce you to other people, other accounts that have similar content. They also look at information about the person who's posted. So, the algorithm considers the popularity of the creator, meaning, their number of followers or level of engagement, to find compelling content from a wider range of people. So, if you follow, someone who is really into cars, it also might show you people who are really into motorcycles or things like that. When it comes to, if maybe you follow cooking channels, it might show you some baking channels, it might show you some, other things similar to that. Maybe it's sewing, maybe it's some other kind of craft, whatever it may be. So, with core ranking factors and signals, this is going to look a lot at direct engagement, behavioral signals, relationship signals, interest signals, those types of things. The definitions are appear on the screen. But if you remember in our previous video, we had discussed signals and kind of what that means. And these are just data points that Instagram kind of looks at and factors into their algorithm and kind of weighs them back and forth. So, like I said, anytime you're going to interact with a post, meaning likes, comments, shares, saves, story replies, those kinds of things. They also track the amount of time that people spend on videos. So if people only make it halfway through your video versus all the way through some of your other videos, they're going to show the ones that catch people's attention and hold it the entire, they're able to retain the audience. Um, but same thing if you're the user, they're going to show you videos that maybe you're more likely to watch all the way through versus, oh, I watched this for a couple seconds, didn't like it, and you scroll on. So, relationship signals, they measure the frequency, of interactions with creators, profiles, visits, direct messages. This could also be, if you like someone's story consistently, almost every time they post. And then interest signals, and they kind of identify topics and content categories a user consistently engages with. So, like I said in the past, cooking, maybe it could be cars, maybe it could be some kind of craft. If you watch a lot of people who make candles or you like that kind of content, it might show you some sewing videos or other videos where people get, kind of crafty. With core ranking factors, again, relationship and interest. This is a big thing. They want to know that you're following or looking at content from people that you kind of relate to or you're interested in their type of content, things like that. So they prioritize content from accounts a user has a strong relationship with. Do you message them regularly? Do you like every time they post? Do you like all their posts every time they post? Do you always comment on their posts? Do you save their posts? Do you share their posts? Those kinds of things. Like I said, do they always post their story and you always reply, something positive? They don't really read what you're sending to the person. They're just like making note of every time, okay, well, they like this or they, those little things. It's not that in depth. When it comes to direct messages and profile visits, those are, considered strong indicators of genuine interest. So maybe someone posts something, you click on their profile, you go through it, you view it, just kind of skimming their content, trying to figure out who this person is. We've all done that. So this is a huge indicator that you might be interested in other content that they have. So creating content that encourages authentic conversations helps build relationships. So really, put open-ended questions in your content. Don't just make it a yes or no thing. Always provide some kind of information that you're able to the user is going to be able to use and they find useful, and then go ahead and put something there that allows them to interact in the comments with you. And always, always, always reply to comments as soon as possible. Not always, possible to reply to every single comment the second it's made. But, Instagram really likes when creators in accounts um, respond to their audience in the comments. It kind of shows that, they're paying attention and that you matter and that there is that kind of down to earth touch to it. And the user, typically really likes that too. They feel heard, they feel seen, and that can change the idea of, oh, I might be interested in this person's product to, hey, I'm going to buy this person's product. So the algorithm also determines the user's interest by tracking what topics and content types that they engage with. So, like I said, do they watch a lot more reels? Do they look at carousels? Things like that. So, anyway, that is all for today's video. Again, this is going to be kind of a longer series. We will finish up probably the next video, if not, probably another 2 videos.